They've been trying to tell us this whole time. Everybody you've ever seen, somebody, somebody you look up to right now has been trying to tell you on some level. And the people that don't worry about those. The Hollywood stars, don't worry about them. They got something else going on. We're talking about people who don't seem like they're everyday people. People who used to be such. David Goggins, Jeremiah Jones, Elon Musk, all kinds of people. Zuckerberg, all the people that are successful now were they were babies like you. They were kids like you, teenagers, and then young adults. They were all just like us. But what happened? They just put in a lot of work. That's really the only thing that separated them from many people. They put in a lot of work. They believed in themselves, and they wanted something better. They wanted something more. Why are you? Get. They wanted something more than they cared about the opinions of other people, about others' perspectives on their dreams and their life. They're millionaires, billionaires, they got the life they want, all because they kept going. They kept doing what they wanted to do. Well, guess what? Never idolize any of them. And the reason I say that is because they were just like us at one point. They got up there and they gave us the blueprint too. They gave us the blueprint. But more than that, we all can do exactly what they have. There's nothing that separates us from them. Everybody you've ever idolized is just as human as you. Every rapper that's your favorite rapper, every one of your favorite athletes, they're just as human as us. There's nothing they have done that we can't do. The sooner I started to realize that, really implant that in my mind, I said, okay, what were to happen if I were to work twice as hard? Do more. Get out my comfort zone. Face my fears. What I found was a better me, was more of myself. And it might seem like you've got all of you now, but you don't. There's something about yourself you haven't faced yet. There's something you haven't looked into yourself about yet. You just ain't got it yet. And that's okay. But what's better is you look at yourself and you say, I can figure this out. If I do 1, 2, and 3, I can get number 4. It's always been that simple. They've been trying to tell us forever. Here we are, we're the new adults. A lot of us ended up depressed, ended up not knowing where we want to go with our lives, ended up just completely giving up. But there's a lot of you out there watching that just don't want to give in. And trust me, I know what it's like to see everybody else giving up and think, well, maybe I should too. But that's a feeling you shouldn't give into. That's a feeling I refuse to give into. We can all create our own lane. There's rappers, singers, entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires that we've never even heard of. We've never even heard of them. And they made it. There's a literal 1,000 millionaires created every single day. The next one could be you. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of athletes everywhere. But there's only one of you. And you could be something just like them. I see nothing wrong with having some kind of dream and just chasing it. endlessly, all day. Of course, with a bit of sense. But going to a point where you might start to get to that spot where people say you're crazy. People say you're doing a lot. You're doing too much. Have you lost your mind? No. I think I found it. I think I found it. There's nothing that we just can't do. That statement doesn't have any merit whatsoever. There's so much we can do. There's so much we can be. And we just keep ignoring it. There's a feeling, so many people are depressed. I believe it's because it's something we want, and the world keeps shutting us off from it. Your parents, your friends, your bullies, telling you, are you nuts? Why do you want that? What's the point? We all die anyway. It's the garbage you hear all the time, and none of it is valid. None of it is. I can't stand hearing statements like that. We all die anyway. Turn that negative into a positive. We all die anyway. So you might as well use the life you got. You might as well. You got one life, one chance. Why don't we just use it? What's stopping us from just using it? And oftentimes, you think hard enough, the answer is you. There's nobody really stopping you. Nobody else's opinion is your obligation. Nobody else's feeling is your obligation. No one's. Because the first time you have one too, guess what? It's not their obligation either. But you won't care because you're trying to get it. You're trying to find a way. The more you think about it, the more it just keeps pushing you up and up and up and up. Eventually, you reach a ceiling. You're there. And you find out the whole other world over here. That's what we're trying to find. That's one thing that's truly lost in us, though. It's human nature to put ourselves first. But one thing we all do is we put everybody else's opinion before our own. What's the point of that? You're going to put yourself first, but their opinion is also first to yours. How can you do that to yourself? There has to be a point where you can't do that to yourself anymore. You have to turn it into another story about yourself. You have to make sure you remember that this is about you. This is your story. As time goes on, you realize it'll just keep going on. That's it. Trust me, you don't want to be 70 wishing you acted upon it. You don't want to be 75, 5 years deep in regret. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of regret.